You are now listening to Fighting for Your Life podcast. I am your host, Miguel Ramirez. On today's episode, we have Eric Vogt on again. We're here at his grand opening for Rejuvgen, his new business, right next door to Ric Centron Brazilian Jiu Jitsu out here in Chandler, Arizona. What's up?
Yes, sir. Glad to have you out here.
Yeah, man, this is awesome, dude. You guys definitely have to watch on YouTube, on Facebook. You guys can see the Jiu-Jitsu school and the rejuvenation business that Eric just opened up in the background, and we are super excited. This is like the only place in Arizona, I think.
Yeah,
from what we've been talking, right?
Right. Yeah, we have their jiu-jitsu. We're here, and actually, we're going to put a wall, put a door in the wall, and so you can go over there and train, do your rolls, and then come over, get in the cold plunge, get in the sauna, do a little PEMF, compression therapy. We got it all.
Yeah, dude, that is awesome. So yeah, we had Eric on the last episode, and we kind of talked about your journey. And obviously, I mean, this is something that is so close to like what we do with fighting and having to recover and, be ready to come back and train again. You know?
Exactly. So, I think we talked about it a little bit before, is that, we beat our bodies up.
Yeah.
The jiu-jitsu is the gentle art, right? We, in some aspects, it is, but I can tell you, when we beat ourselves up, and when you get my age, you really need that. And so I've been doing cold plunges, saunas for the past couple of years or so at my gym. But I had to go train, and then I would have to drive all the way over to my gym to be able to do that. And, having this right next to Ric's place, it's just, it's a match made in heaven.
I mean, it's literally seconds, not even minutes. It's seconds away. Seconds. You just step next door and jump right in the cold plunge after you're done rolling.
Exactly. Go take a shower. We put in 2 brand new showers in here. So you hop in the shower.
Speakers, lights, you can get in the mood.
You can get in the mood. Yeah, I mean, we got it all. We just want to make it a comfortable and inviting place for people to come enjoy themselves, train hard, recover hard, get back to what we do. What we love doing is jiu-jitsu.
Right. That's awesome. And Rejuvgen, make sure you guys check them out on Instagram and the website. Where can they find it? It's
rejuvgen.com. All social media, Rejuvgen. So that's REJUVGEN, Twitter,
Instagram, Facebook,
TikTok. We even have TikTok, whatever. YouTube, we got it all. Yeah, it's all Rejuvgen.
Yeah. So I know you've been putting in some crazy hours.
I mean, I'm punch drunk right now.
Yeah. Right now, you're just running off adrenaline.
I'm just running off adrenaline right now. But you know what? It's all worth it. I mean, it makes me so happy to see all my friends here. Yeah. This jiu-jitsu community that we have is very strong. I mean, we've talked about this before. And
we talked about it on the last episode too.
Just how supportive our community is, when we're putting this place in here, it's a lot of work, a lot of manual work. And, we had people come. You came over and helped us out. A bunch of other jiu-jitsu people came and helped us out.
Yeah.
Cody Barlow here, who's one of Ric's purple belts. Man, let me tell you.
He was in here tearing stuff up. And
man, I could not have done it without that guy. He's absolutely amazing. I owe everything to that guy for what he's done here. I mean, I'm not a manual guy. Like, I don't know that craft. I don't know construction. Yeah. And here I am building walls and putting in tile.
Dude, and it looks good.
Drywall.
It looks good.
I mean, I've never done that before, and here he is teaching me all that stuff. And it came out pretty good. I mean, I'm pretty proud of what it looks like.
Yeah, no, it looks awesome. You guys got to come and check it out. Yeah. You know what? That reminds me of like jiu-jitsu being an individual sport, right? Yeah. Like when we go out there and we compete, it's just us by ourselves on the mat versus our opponent. And when it comes to like having a business, I mean, you're the owner of Rejuvgen, but just like you were talking about, you have Cody, you have other people from the gyms that have came and helped you out. And even though, in the business, you're the owner, and in jiu-jitsu, we fight alone, we still have a team, right?
It's more of a team sport than people realize.
Right, yeah.
Right? When we're competing, it's one-on-one, right? But you're not really competing in a sense that you're trying to get to some place, right? Like as a team, you have a certain part in that, right?
Yeah.
For example, football.
You have
your position, your role, you know what you're supposed to do, right?
Yeah.
In jiu-jitsu, it's all you.
Right.
But what's behind you is all your teammates telling you, hey, don't put your foot there. Remember?
Right.
I mean, the same. It was your first tournament. Remember?
Yeah, exactly.
And you were stuck in half guard. I think I'm like, push his hips, push his hips, push his face. Right. It's the same. So you have your team behind you. Yes, you are doing it by yourself, but your team is behind you.
You can't do it without them.
100%.
Right.
Every time. And that's what I really love about it.
Yeah, and you know, very similar to, you know, building the business and having people come and everybody contribute. You know?
Yeah, same thing. But again, you know, we can make things happen like this because, you know, we are in this community. We're in the jiu-jitsu community.
Yeah. You know, another thing kind of like related to jiu-jitsu, like I know there had to be like hard times when you're going through this, having that feeling where you bit off more than you can chew, right? How has that kind of like related to your jiu-jitsu journey, or did you have to lean on any of the stuff that, you know, that you've learned over the years?
So for those of us who have tried jiu-jitsu, we know it feels like the first couple times you go into the gym, you bit off more than you could chew.
You know what it is? It's the days when you're driving home with no radio on, and you're just like, what the fuck happened?
How did I just get destroyed like that? I've never been destroyed like that.
15-minute drive, not one sound.
Let me tell you, it feels like somebody has sucked the world right out of you, right?
Yeah.
This is very similar, but you know, I think it's good lessons that we learn in jiu-jitsu. You know, times are hard, things are hard. We talked about breathing the last time that I was on the show.
Right.
And how much we forget just to breathe.
Yeah.
Right? And so we condition ourselves now to know that when we're in tough situations, just breathe.
Yeah.
You're going to be fine. It might be tough. Just breathe. You're going to get out of it. You're going to be fine.
Yeah.
And you know what? If it gets too hard, tap out.
Yeah.
And in business, you can do that too. Most businesses fail, right?
Yeah.
Majority of them do. You know, I've had 6 businesses. 3 of them were not successful.
Yeah.
And, you know, hopefully this will be number 6 that's successful for me.
Yeah.
I just think that, you know, we learn good lessons in jiu-jitsu that bleed over into our everyday life.
Right. Just like you're talking about winning and losing. I mean, there's times with like with our kids when it comes to like kids, they want to win all the time.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And I don't think they understand, especially with us and with our coach, which maybe we can get on in a little bit.
He's around here somewhere.
Yeah,
I think let me tell you, there's a lot of black belts around here today, which is awesome.
We got a new black belt walking by right here.
There's a new black belt right there.
New brown belt.
New brown belt, black belt, yeah.
But like even the kids don't realize, I'm like, who do you think has lost the most in our gym? And, you know, they're probably thinking about like somebody that they can beat up or whatever. It's like, you don't realize it's probably coach. Yeah. Because coach has been doing it the longest. He's been fighting the longest. Yeah. You know, he's always putting himself out there. And when you do that, you lose. Yeah. I mean, you win, but you also lose. And that's how you get better.
I've never forgotten what Parker said.
Yeah.
And Parker was one of Coach's black belts who moved back to Michigan. And he says the same thing. He said, I've lost more times than I've won.
Yeah.
And we looked up to Parker. I mean, we could not. That guy would let you take his back every time. Take my back.
Yeah, go for it.
Go ahead. I'll submit you.
Yeah.
Take my back. And it's like we said, well, how did you get there? I lost more times than I won. Yeah. And every time that I lost, I learned something new.
Yeah.
Each time. And so, yeah, losing is not a bad thing. Failure is not a bad thing. It's part of life. It's what we do. We fail at jiu-jitsu, but we get better. Every one of these black belts that are here today, they all have failed in jiu-jitsu. But look where they are. Yeah.
Little by little, step by step. Yeah. You wanna? So and it's pretty special. I mean, we've been talking about, you know, with all the on the last podcast, we also mentioned like it's cool all the affiliate schools that have opened up, you know, through our coach.
Revive is here. Yeah. All of them are here.
And then like the idea of having something like this next to, you know, the schools that are all part of our affiliation, you know, that'd be an awesome idea to be able to just train and then recover right when you're done.
I mean, if this works out, there's no reason why we can't do this with other schools. Right. I mean, we could do it with Coach's school.
You know, and I was thinking besides even just fighting, but I mean, every place, like if you play football, basketball, like they're all doing this stuff.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so it could just be something that opens up around, you know what I mean?
This is nothing new. Right? Yeah. This wasn't just dreamt up from me, right? I mean, athletes have been doing this for many, many years. We have a game ready device here, which is a cold and compression device that's in one. And they travel around with that game-ready device with them. We have one here. Yeah. You know, because we consider ourselves athletes and we want to recover.
Yeah, of course.
This is nothing new.
Yeah.
But it's just nobody has really kind of put those things together. Like, how do we recover?
Yeah.
We train hard. We get injured, but how do you recover? Nobody's addressed that.
Right. They have it in the big multi-billion-dollar sports.
Correct.
But not in our sport.
No.
And you're like one of the first to do this type of thing.
And this can be replicated at all the small gyms around.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
So definitely make sure you guys go to Instagram, check out Rejuvgen, look them up online, and come and check out the spot.
Yeah,
jump in the cold plunge, the hot tub. Yeah.
Get in that cold plunge. So we have the unique things about these ones is they go to 37 degrees.
Oh man, I think the coldest I've done is like 48.
Oh, even at 48,
that's crazy.
That's cold. You know.
Oh man.
And these ones flow. That has a really high flow rate.
Yeah. So like you're in a river.
Yeah, it's like these are Arctic tubs that are built right here in Arizona, and they have a really high flow rate, which breaks down that barrier, that heat barrier that you have when still water.
Yeah. Oh wow, that's even different. I can imagine.
So yeah, come on by, check it out. We would love to have you in here to try out all our modalities.
Well,
we would love you.
You know what? We could do a podcast from the two tubs.
Let's do it.
Yeah, right. For an hour sitting in the tub. All right. Well, thanks for being on the show, Eric.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah. Make sure you guys come by. We're gonna get Ric Centron from Ric Centron Jiu-Jitsu, and we'll talk about a little bit about his new school that he just opened up right here next door to Rejuvgen. And this is going to be a little bit different than obviously some of the other podcasts that I've done, because we're here live at the grand opening of Rejuvgen and Ric Centron Jiu-Jitsu. And just a little bit about Ric. Ric is one of our black belts. When I first started Jiu-Jitsu about 5 years ago, I think it's more than 5 years ago now. Dang, I think it's been like 6 years.
I would say that.
And you were a brown belt, and you were teaching kids classes. I was helping out with the kids classes. You were our kids coach.
Yep.
And then you opened up your first school, which was right around the corner here. And now we're doing the grand opening for your second school.
Yeah, it's great,
dude.
Honestly, it's a dream, man. It's a dream. Can't complain,
dude.
Sorry about that.
No, it's all good, dude. I can't imagine like going from teaching the kids classes to opening up your first spot. I mean, you had a smaller school, but now, I mean, this place, I don't even know how to explain. It's like all white mats. It looks so clean.
Yeah,
it's fresh in there.
It's a dream. You know, when you're dreaming something and you have a certain way that you want it to look, you're just like, let's do it.
Yeah.
This is how it's going to be, and this is what I've dreamed of. And that's it, man. You know, the first school was a stepping stone for my second school, and as this will be another stepping stone for my third school. You know, just hopefully we just keep getting bigger and bigger, and then expansion, and you know, it's getting the good word of jiu-jitsu out.
Right.
know?
Yeah, and you guys got a huge opportunity now with Eric opening up right next door to you.
God, that was a blessing,
dude. It's so awesome.
It was a blessing. Eric is he's way more business minded than I am, so like I try to feed off of him. His ideas is just great. Like
business and jiu-jitsu, you guys work it out together.
You know, and you couldn't ask for a better spot. Like something to help you recover.
Yeah.
Right. There's all recovery with jiu-jitsu is just like.
Yeah, we have to have that.
You know.
Yeah.
And a lot of us don't know like that. You know, I have kids that are. Some of my coaches here, they're 19, 20 years old.
They don't realize the benefit.
Every day. And they're like, oh, I don't need no cold plunge. I just go back and roll again. Like, bro.
That rubbery.
Second shoulder surgery.
Right.
Like, it'll tell you, like.
That rubberiness wears out after a while. The rubber band gets stiff and worn out.
Yeah, there's no elasticity in your body anymore, man. It's crazy.
Yeah. So, not only are you a jiu-jitsu black belt, but you're also a judo black belt too,
Correct.
right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
So what was it that made you transition from judo to, how long did you do judo for?
I did judo for, I want to say about 7 to 8 years.
Okay.
I started out really, really young, and then, you know, as things happen, you know, through families and, you know, pricing and stuff like that, it can get a little expensive.
Yeah.
So I stopped, you know, and then started doing more school sports. And then as I became an adult, got back into it again. And it was like all new to me again. And a friend of mine was he was a teacher, or my friend, his dad was a judo instructor.
Okay.
And he's like, dude, come do judo. I'm like, what? Yeah, all right, let's do it. You know, and I was missing that aggressiveness, that game, you know, where
it's ready to throw down.
Yes, dude. You know, and legally, right?
Yeah,
you know
without getting in trouble
out in the streets and stuff, right? So I was like, I need that wrestling, I need all that stuff.
Just
like,
gotta let it out,
right? So that's what I did. I went into it, and from then on, got my black belt. I was a brown belt at the time, and one of the other senseis there were just like, hey, you should come try jiu-jitsu with me. And there's always been a battle between judo and jiu-jitsu. Like, judo's better or jiu-jitsu's better, and judo's like, no, it's a bunch of butt scooters and stuff, you know. And
we are known for that.
And I was like, all right, well, you know what? I'll check it out. I'll go ahead and I'll check out the school. And I went there. In the moment that the dude, and I'll never forget him. Like, he's one of my greatest friends. Like, still to this day, I go visit him when I'm in Chicago, and he's a black belt out there. Amazing black belt from Alliance, and his name was Tim, and he was about 5'3", right, about 125, 135 pounds.
Yeah, you got this
and
guy.
At this time, I was a brown belt in judo, and he was a 4-stripe white belt, and just armbarred the piss out of me.
Really?
And I was like, wow, I need to learn this. And I'd take him down. The moment I'd throw him down, he'd hang onto my armbar again.
Wow.
And he's always been accelerated. He's been an excellent black belt, and like, he's taught me so many things, and he started my passion in jiu-jitsu. I was like,
really? So he went from white to black too with you.
Yeah.
Dude, that's awesome.
So, but yeah, that's what got me into jiu-jitsu, when a smaller person just beat me up.
Yeah. You know,
over.
you hear that quite a bit, that there's a lot of people that have that experience. They go try out jiu-jitsu for the first time, and I don't know if that's, I mean, I'm guessing it's a normal thing. You go and roll around, you're going to roll with a few people. You'll probably get somebody that's a little smaller than you.
Right.
But if they know a little bit, you're going to be like, holy crap, like, you're in trouble, and then you're kind of intrigued. You're like, man, I want to learn what they know.
Exactly.
You know? Yeah.
Exactly. It's completely different. So, and that's the thing, man. Like, you know, I think the biggest thing is that I was intimidated when I first started jiu-jitsu and judo.
Yeah.
Because when you look at the school, you know, you're like, oh, this guy does jiu-jitsu. Oh, this guy does this guy does that, right? And it's intimidating to just set foot in the front door.
Yeah.
Right? The moment that you walk in, though, like, the welcoming,
it's completely different.
The like, you feel like the familiarity with everybody. Like, everybody's so friendly. Everybody wants you to come in. They explain things to you. Like, it's not, I think the jiu-jitsu community has done a great job of showing welcome, instead of being, you know, like a meathead and trying to, you know, first stuff they see is like
fresh meat. Right,
you know?
exactly.
We all know that. So we've been there, we've been in those eyes. But that's the thing. Like, I think if you serve your community, as far as like, for my school at least, I know that if I've served my community serves back. So like, everybody's been awesome. Families, like, I get invited, you know, I'm the only one here in my family in Arizona, so I get invited to Christmases, I get invited to Thanksgivings, I get invited all the time, like, come on, coach, come on, you know, and it's just a beautiful thing that, you know, the community is great. So.
Yeah. That is something that, you know, I haven't seen in many other sports. That is like, I mean, you always develop a camaraderie wherever you're at, right? In your school or your team or whatever, but with my work and everything and traveling around the country, like, I'll look up a school and go somewhere, and, you know, you look up the reviews and they have pretty good reviews, but when you go there, jiu-jitsu has this vibe that everybody's just like so welcoming, willing to help. And when you're a visitor, I mean, as long as you're not just trying to like smash a bunch of people, like, you're just going to have fun and learn and roll around a little bit, you know, everybody's just wants to teach you, they want to take care of you. Like, you know, you might get your arm trapped and then they'll let it go.
Right.
You know, it's not like they gotta win and they gotta get this submission.
No one's there to hurt anybody. You know? And that's the beauty of jiu-jitsu. Like, I just can't, you know, anywhere you go, I tell all my students, like, you know, just like you said, you travel. Yeah. I have a lot of them that travel too, and they're like, oh, coach, I'll be out of town. You know, like, it's like they had to check in on me, like, coach, I'll be out of town, but I'll be back this day. I'm like, all right, cool. And like, take a gi with you, right? Always take a gi with you, because then you can go train, and there's nothing like training at other schools where, you know, you learn new things, you could learn something different, and it's just the beauty of it. I used to have a black belt instructor, Adam Miller. I think he's in Kentucky now, but he was amazing in Illinois. He was, honestly, I learned so much from him, just like outside of the jiu-jitsu. There were a couple things that he always said that would stick with me, and one of them was that jiu-jitsu itself is like a language. You go to another country, take a gi with you, not have to say a word, and you know, you guys know exactly what you're doing. You slap bump and you know exactly what you're doing, you know? Yeah. So like, it's to me that always stuck with me. So like I could go anywhere in the world, take a gi with me, find a jiu-jitsu school. I don't have to know the language, but the moment we slap bump, we know what we're doing.
Yeah,
you know?
That's really cool because Eric was actually talking about something similar because like he's traveled. Didn't you compete in the? Did you go to the European Open?
Yeah.
Yeah, like he went when he was working out there, and he went to a couple gyms, and like you said, you guys go out there and compete with somebody that does, you guys can't even communicate after, but you guys are communicating during, right?
Right, so, the entire time.
Yeah, and it's pretty awesome, like to see, like to know like their skill, your skill, like and you develop even a camaraderie with your opponent after the match. It's like damn, like we did something.
It's great.
Yeah,
it's great. Yeah, we went to Europeans, and then we did the European Masters in Barcelona.
Yeah,
so those were some of the greatest trips that we've had, man. Like
those are the big ones too. Yeah,
we always talk to each other about like, oh, what are we doing next? What are we doing next? So this is the next. I guess this is the next big project.
Yeah.
The school and the recovery, and then
we got Phil over here. We're gonna get him in a little bit.
On top of that, I think the next time we're going to have to. We're talking about 2025. So
okay,
we
still got a little time.
Yeah, recovery.
Where's that at?
We want to start with the Europeans.
Okay, start at the. Okay.
And then just try to make our way through all the big tournaments.
All right. Why are you looking at me like that?
You know.
Now it's time to get ready.
Before the next level up, you gotta, we gotta go test ourselves, right?
Yeah, man, of course. So one thing that I was talking to Eric about that's been really cool seeing is like Coach and all the schools that have opened up. And now that this is your second school, I know Cody, which Eric was mentioning before, that has helped a lot with the with the opening of the business and everything. He was talking about eventually him opening up a school and opening up a recovery place, and now that you've had your place for a little bit and having people that are kind of moving up in the ranks under you, how does that feel, like knowing that you have people now under your lineage that are going to open up places and teach people?
It's an absolute dream.
That's pretty cool.
Absolute dream. The fact that I was able to do this and my walls still have Carlo's logo and stuff.
Yeah, and the thought that their wall is going to have your picture on their wall.
Right.
That's pretty special.
Absolute dream. Like the lineage continues, man, and that's the biggest thing. I think, and not to get any sentimental because we know this is like a fight podcast.
This is all fight.
But bro, like me not having kids and stuff, like to me being able to pass out the lineage to like just other people that have followed me through white belt, and then you'd be able to like keep passing down, getting purple belt, brown belt, black belt, and then want to open a school under me.
Yeah,
dude, it's
and then you show up,
it's like
teach some
it
classes.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing.
That is pretty special.
I think it'd be awesome. So,
yeah. So, what are the cross streets here?
The cross streets are Alma School and Germain. We're in Suite 3 right now, and then Eric is in Suite 2.
Okay.
Suite 2. Yeah, so please come on in. Everything's been changed, updated. I know Miguel was talking about he tried to come to this place, and he was like, "Where is it?" And he's like, "Oh, he didn't update his address." And I did. I'm in the same location, same location, plaza, just different units, bigger units. So come on by. We're right dead center of the plaza itself.
Ric Centron Jiu-Jitsu here on Alma School and Germain. You have a website that they can check out?
I do. www.riccentronbjj.com. Check it out. If you guys are in the area, please come by. Train. I tell everybody, come in, please. It's the more people we have, the more learning we all do together. So please feel free to come on in. Everybody, mention me, mention the podcast. Come on in, let us know where you hear us from. I always ask, like, how'd you hear about me? And hopefully a lot of people hear about our school from this podcast, because I know this podcast, I've been following you guys for a long time too. And I listened to Eric's podcast before too. It's just like when he was first setting this up, and it's happening. It's happening.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely check it out. Like Rick was talking about. I mean, the school is super welcoming. The school is beautiful. It's brand new. It's still got that new school smell. You guys come and sniff the mats.
Yes.
It smells awesome. Yeah, I'm sure somebody will help you.
Right.
like we do in jiu-jitsu.
Face smashing.
So thank you, Rick. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a good one, man.
Yeah. Thank you. I'll take that. And grab that. Sweet, man. Yep. So yeah, and next up, we got Phil coming to the microphone. Phil's another one of my training partners over at Carlos Farias Jiu Jitsu. What's happening, Phil?
What's up?
How you doing, man? We've been talking about this for a while.
My black eye pretty bad.
You just got done fighting? Nah, it doesn't look. You got a little scratch, a little something. You got to do it like the fighters do after the, they get done and they're being interviewed. You got your glasses with the black eye underneath.
Coach Kev did it. Put his toe in there.
Oh shit.
Toes don't go in eyeballs.
Yeah, that doesn't work out too good, man.
No.
How's it going? How's the grand opening? Looks good, man.
They've done a lot.
Yeah.
I've watched Ric kind of grow the last few years, and this is cool.
Yeah.
And then this whole setup with Eric next door.
Dude, it's game changing.
I just spent 30 minutes between the sauna and.
Did you jump in? How was it?
It's good. It's cold.
Yeah.
Hot,
Did you jump in the cold plunge?
Yeah.
Which one did you get in?
I think they're the same.
Are they? They're set the same right now?
I think they're like 55 degrees, but it's keeping getting colder. When I got in, it was 60. Now they're like 54.
Dude, he was talking about how it has like a jet that it shoots. So it's because I jump in the pool in our house, and I know what he was mentioning, that with that jet, you can't like build up any heat like around you, because when you're in still water, at least the water around you is kind of cool. But that shit just keeps the water moving.
To me, I thought that was pretty cool because. If water doesn't move, it just gets warm, so it just keeps cycling.
So does it feel even colder?
It does. I was shivering pretty good.
Holy shit, we got to try that. We got to give it a shot. So yeah, man, we've been talking about getting you on the podcast for a while, and then I started this fighting podcast. I was like, man, that's the perfect time to get you on, and we'll also get you on for a separate episode just by yourself so we can kind of talk.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. So how long have you been training jiu-jitsu now?
I think I just hit 4 years in October.
4 years, and you're still a white belt. So I was just fucking with you. Nah,
feels like it.
It feels a blue belt. We got our blue belts around the same time.
Yeah.
But yeah. So what was it that made you get into jiu-jitsu?
Eric. So Eric was Eric was my neighbor, and the story is, so I had a 2-stroke leaf blower, and I was trying to leaf blow my driveway, and the damn thing wouldn't start up. So I just started beating the hell out of my leaf blower in the driveway, slamming it on the ground, throwing it out in the street. And Eric rolls by. He's like, hey, man, seems like you got a little bit of a temper. You should try jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
And at the time, I was like 286 pounds. I was like, I don't need jiu-jitsu. I got guns, a Pro 2A. He goes, typical response of somebody who doesn't know how to fight.
Right.
I was like, touche. And I went to jiu-jitsu that night, and I've been going ever since.
No shit. Yeah, and dude, since you've started, you've lost all kinds of weight.
I've lost 84 pounds.
Damn.
I lost an entire human.
Wow.
So
yeah, dude, that's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Something I wanted to ask you, like we were talking about the shades and the black eye and fighting. There's a lot of times people talk about jiu-jitsu and our jiu-jitsu matches, right? And if you say that we have a fight coming up,
give people
complexes. Are like, they're like, bro, that's not a fight. You guys aren't fighting. But people don't have a problem with saying that boxing's a fight, right?
Yeah,
But in boxing, you can't choke somebody out.
No, I got choked out the other day.
Right? If you get into a real fight, you can punch somebody, but you can also choke them out.
Yeah.
So neither one is really a complete fight.
So
so how is one a fight and one not?
Anytime I roll with somebody is a fight to me.
Yeah.
Because I don't want them to win.
Your face looks like you were in a fight. You got a scratch, black eye.
Yeah, that hurt. But the thing about jiu-jitsu, I didn't realize there were so many shit talkers about jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Oh my God, there's mad shit talkers. I'm a boxer, I do grappling, I wrestle, I catch wrestle. Jiu-jitsu's not the only grappling.
Yeah.
That's true, but it's the only one that saved my life.
Right, yeah.
And I can easily throw an elbow or a punch in any of these moves we're doing.
Yeah,
the gym etiquette is you don't punch, you don't spit, you don't scratch, you don't kick.
But we could do all of those.
We can do all of those easily.
Right.
From any of the moves we're doing. We can drop an elbow, hit a punch.
Yeah.
Somebody pulls you in a guard. That's a horrible idea in a real fight.
Yeah.
I'm sticking.
Yep.
It's easy to transition. I do jiu-jitsu because it calms me down.
Yeah.
There's something about getting murdered by, Kev and Chanson and Coach Carlos. He's got one arm and he's still murdering people.
It's freaking crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Kind of like you were saying, like with Eric, you get the adrenaline out, or let the anger loose.
Yeah, and then you get lucky with a choker submission, and then they murder you for another 5 minutes. Jiu-jitsu's weird.
Yeah,
it's very weird.
What was it when you? How was it when you first started? I mean, because I'm guessing that's kind of in the beginning. You're like, what the fuck is going on? We were just talking about. I was talking to Eric about those moments. You know, when you drive home with no music, no nothing. You're just like,
I got
contemplating what
quitting,
the fuck.
Yeah. No.
Life, quitting life. You're like, this is too much.
Somebody tagged me on the video on Instagram where we're doing our warm-ups, and somebody's carrying me on their back.
Yeah.
At the time, that's an A5 gi. I wear an A3 gi now.
Holy
and my ass
shit.
is just blown out in this gi, and this little person's running me down the mat. And I remember I was thinking how stupid these warm-ups were. Like, a grown man shrimping across the floor for what?
Yeah.
Now I'll shrimp across a mat in a heartbeat to get away from you.
Yeah, yeah, right.
You know, like...
Yeah, when somebody's trying to grab your neck.
Jiu-Jitsu's just an odd... It's not a sport, it's a lifestyle.
Yeah.
You know, there's like the... You know, like Jimmy John's got followers. You got, you know, these UFC followers who've never fought a day in their lives, but they can tell you what a Kimura is, Americana.
That's true.
You know, omoplatas.
Yeah, there's so many people that...
I don't know how to actually do it.
Yeah, but they've heard of it. They've seen it. They got the basic idea.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like me and Andrew, my son, started at the same time. He was 7 when he started.
Okay. So you guys started at the exact same time?
Same day.
Okay.
We walked in together.
Damn, how was that?
It was wild because I think it instilled more confidence in him than it did for me. Me, it was a deflating part of my life. Like, I'm out of shape. I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
And you were big, so you like thought, I can handle myself. I'll
just sit on you. Well, unbeknownst to me, is the tiniest person can shrimp out under a fat guy in jiu-jitsu.
Right. Yeah.
You know?
You just build a little frame.
You ever roll a cupcake? Cupcake will squish you to death. You can get out if you want to.
Yeah. And you frame a little bit and shrimp out.
I think it's become a family affair now. My little guy is doing it with me. He's doing it 2 years now. They're both competitors. They've all medaled, podium. They're better than I am.
I've seen them on Instagram with their reels and everything.
Yeah, he's trying to create his own little Instagram brand. He's got, you know, megatons. All these, you know, name brand people are following these black belts he's never met before. So he's branding himself as an athlete, which works.
Come here, Andrew. Come here.
But
what's your Instagram? What's your Instagram?
AJAL_Mark_bro.
There you go. You can find him on Instagram. He posts all kinds of stuff from his jiu-jitsu matches and training and all that stuff.
And that's boggling to me.
Yeah.
Right?
He's going to be a little jiu-jitsu influencer.
Well, the problem is, I don't want to say it too loud. The little shit's probably whooping my ass in 4 or 5 years.
You don't got much time. I mean? You better get that purple belt quick.
I better do something. I better get a hammer.
I know, me too.
But watching him have that confidence, like he carries himself differently, like my little guy, they call him Baby Hulk because he's just, he's a psycho, dude.
Yeah.
It's a family affair.
How have you noticed his confidence change since he started?
Well,
it's been 4 years now, right? For him too.
So, Andrew, you know, I really don't remember him being not having confidence.
Yeah.
But he never was outgoing either.
Okay.
He's kind of reserved. Now he'll walk into a room and be like, "What up, fuckers?"
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like, "Oh God." Like I'm the one hiding in the shadows because I don't want to be embarrassed, and he's fearless.
Yeah.
The kids motivate me to be a better, just all around, you know. So.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
It's crazy. I'm trying to get my wife to do it. I'll come on ladies' nights or something, but saying about it yet. But I remember those warm-ups when I was brand new. I couldn't.
Dude, we were just talking about breathing and learning how to breathe and having to actually think, remember to fucking breathe because you just gas out in a minute. Yeah. You know. So
there's your kid. Look at him.
Yeah, they're climbing walls and all that. But yeah, Phil, we'll definitely have to get you back on for your own episode. We can kind of get into the rest of your jiu-jitsu journey and your influences and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, thanks for stopping by, man.
I'm glad you're here. It's kind of cool seeing everybody get together.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I'll see you at the gym. We can roll around a little bit. Shit. Next, we got Doc coming up.
So much wisdom to impart, man.
Oh, here we go.
You have no idea.
So yeah, Doc's one of our black belts. I mean, Doc's been there since I first started 6 years ago. 6 years ago now, yeah.
Man.
Dude, when I first started, you were a brown belt, I remember.
Oh, man. It's been a long time.
Yeah, and now, I mean, we've rolled around a couple of times, and I know you, now I get to know you a little bit more.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, so how did your jiu-jitsu or your martial arts journey start? What was your first influences?
Man, honestly, I started in late 2001.
Okay.
And what happened in late 2001?
Wow, okay, yeah.
After September 11th. That's right.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, that's not going to happen to me.
Wow.
That ain't gonna happen to me. Yeah, the world was crazy back then, you know. It was different, but that's what I thought. Like,
Yeah.
I gotta learn some jiu-jitsu stuff. Like, you know, learn how to fight.
Yeah.
So I started in Houston, Texas. I was a resident in Houston, Texas. And,
Okay. So that was actually the reason to start.
That was my reason to start.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, that was my real reason to start. And I started in Houston, Texas with a guy who was a blue belt.
Okay.
But back then, I mean, this is 23 years ago now.
So how was jiu-jitsu back then?
There was none.
Okay.
I mean, this was before UFC. This is like when the Gracie family was making like those beach videos. You know,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
it was
The Gracie Garage type stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, it was a long time ago. And so I was like, I gotta learn this stuff. Like, these guys are just kicking ass on the beach, and like, you know, I gotta learn this. So I go, and there's a blue belt teaching, and it's a blue belt. Like, you know, how can a blue belt teach? But back then, that's what it was. And that was in 2001. I moved to Phoenix in 2002. Started with a guy who went out of business. I forget his name. He's still around. He like sells Cialis or something.
Yeah.
Viagra. I don't know what he did. And so I stopped for a long time. I had kids. My first was born in 2007. And when he was about 4 years old, so about 2011, 2012, I wanted to start him in jiu-jitsu. And that's when I met Coach. And so
In 2004?
2011.
Oh, 2011. Okay, yeah.
So Coach is like, yeah, I got him started over at East West MMA.
Yeah.
And Carlos was there.
Dang, so you've been following Coach around for forever.
Right after he left Lions Den.
Okay.
Is when I met him. And so I was like, I got the bug again when my kid was doing it.
Yeah.
And my kid quit, and I'm still here.
Yeah. Dang, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's a long time. It's a long time. So, yeah, I've been with Carlos. I mean, literally, really, since I was a white belt. I don't count Houston. I don't count that, the first guy.
Yeah.
I really started with Carlos, so that's where I started my time.
Dude, that's pretty awesome.
It's been a long time.
And it's cool to see like everybody that that's kind of came out from Coach's school and everything.
It's amazing.
And everything that's grown.
Yeah.
Hey, what do you think about being able to have like especially being a doctor, having a rejuvenation where you can jump in a cold plunge, the sauna, like after you're done beating the crap out of each other.
I gotta get Eric to open one of these over to Carlos.
Right?
Man.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be so amazing.
Yeah.
That would be amazing. Like I there was a place up in Phoenix that we used to do. Carlos and I used to drive up to after rolling.
Yeah.
I forget the name of the place, but we used to get in there, and it's the greatest thing for your body. It is the greatest thing for your body. Like you feel like 1,000% better.
Yeah.
Afterwards, I don't know. Have you done it?
I haven't done it. I haven't done it here yet, but I've jumped in the saunas and the cold plunge or in the cold pool. But
No.
Yeah, I got to do it in here. It's freaking nuts.
It's not even close. It's not even close.
Yeah, he was saying it's like 36 degrees in there or something.
The one I went in, it was salt water.
Oh, really?
And it was like 29 degrees.
Holy crap, that's insane.
Crazy.
Wow.
Like colder than freezing. It was awesome. It was awesome. Yeah. I think it's amazing. I need one of these.
Yeah, it's an awesome idea.
Especially when you get to be my age, man.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah, we definitely need it. I mean, that way we can get back to training and doing what we want to do,
Yeah.
But so what was your first influence to martial arts? Like the first thing that you remember that made you like, oh shit, I want to be a ninja or something,
Oh my God. Like I was a kid, like a baby, like like Ninja Mutants,
Ninja Turtles,
yeah, the Ninja Turtles.
You want to be Michelangelo?
Yeah, like I mean, way back. But I actually started in college. I started with Tang Soo Do, which is like Taekwondo.
Okay.
Korean kicking and whatever.
Yeah.
It wasn't for me, man. I don't like that kicking stuff. Like,
Yeah.
I'm tight. Like I just can't do that stuff.
Yeah, this is completely different.
That was the first thing I did, but that's how I went to jiu-jitsu a couple years after that. So
yeah, I actually had my dad on the first couple episodes.
Yeah.
He was actually a Taekwondo almost world champion. He got second place in the world. In 77.
See, that's legit. Like I was doing it in college. Like it was not.
And it was different back then. I think he actually did a couple tournaments where he got disqualified because they started doing like the point fighting and he would hit people too hard and he wasn't used to that and then they would disqualify him.
See, that's like Jean-Claude Van Damme. Like that's the cool stuff.
Yeah. He's like, I don't want to do that. He's like, I don't want to do point fighting.
By the way, just shout out to my wife.
Yeah.
Carlos Farias' first black belt ever.
Heck yeah.
3 days ago.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of her.
Yeah, we're going to get Megan on. She was walking by a minute ago with her brand new black belt.
Oh, man. I'm so proud of her.
Dude, how is that having 2 black belts in the house?
I don't know. It's only been 3 days.
What are arguments like?
I lose. I lose. I do
that'd be interesting to be a fly on the wall.
Let me just tell you. I did the dishes today. I folded the laundry today, and it's not a coincidence.
Yeah. Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, thanks for coming on.
Brother, thank you.
Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, you too. Yeah, and we'll get...
I made this all sweaty, sorry.
All right. And we'll get Megan, one of Coach Carlos's first, one of the newest black belts on our team. How you doing, Megan?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing awesome. It's awesome to be here for the grand opening for Ric and for Eric.
Oh yeah, it's beautiful. Both places.
Yeah, and you just got your black belt a few days ago, literally.
Yeah. On Wednesday.
Yeah. How does that feel?
Doesn't feel real yet.
Yeah. What was that moment like? Did you know it was coming?
No, I did not notice. It was a surprise.
It was complete surprise.
Complete surprise. Yeah.
Dang. So what did it feel like after all your training and everything?
It's just amazing because I put a lot of time in. I don't think I've ever put this much time in anything.
Do you put it on and like walk around, like check it out in the mirror? You're like, oh shit, look at that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I have. Yeah. At the gym.
I would do the same thing too. You know. How long have you been training jiu-jitsu?
Just shy of 8 years. So it'll be 8 years in February.
Dang. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Man, so what was it that got you into it?
I watched my husband and kids do it for a few years, and I was lifting weights with Carlos, and finally they talked me into trying it.
Yeah, you hang around long enough.
Yeah. I was just watching for a few years, and then finally, and there was a few other girls that kept asking me, and yeah.
Dang, who was it? I was talking to somebody recently, and they were telling me something about taking their kids to jiu-jitsu classes and then how they ended up doing. I was like, that's how it goes. Yeah, I was like, you cannot take your kids to a jiu-jitsu class without having the adults that do jiu-jitsu be like, hey, when are you putting a gi on?
Oh, yeah.
When are you going to get on the mats? When are we going to see you? You know?
That's exactly what happened. Yeah. Well, the community is great. How could you not? Like, these people are amazing.
Yeah, and it's awesome. Like, just everybody that is affiliated and the jiu-jitsu community, like we've been talking about, before, is just everybody's so welcoming, and nice.
Yeah, and it's a great workout. It's addicting. After about 6 months, that was it. I was hooked. So.
Yeah, one of the things that made me like really look into jiu-jitsu and get into it was, Joe Rogan, the UFC, and then also having a daughter. You know, how do you feel about jiu-jitsu and being a woman and like the importance of being able to defend yourself?
Oh, it's so important. I didn't realize until I had been training a few years how important it is. I really feel confident now being in a scary area or walking alone in a parking lot.
Yeah.
I feel confident that I would fight back, that I would be able to defend myself, and it's just it's a pretty amazing feeling.
Yeah, and I think it's what makes jiu-jitsu, for those that don't train jiu-jitsu, makes it so different than a lot of other sports is that in other martial arts, like maybe they don't fully spar. It's almost like I do this, you do this. Where in jiu-jitsu, you're fighting you're fighting women. There's times you're fighting dudes. Mm-hmm. So knowing that you fight guys and that you'll submit them or sweep them or whatever, I'm sure also gives you confidence knowing, especially that it's not like this dance back and forth. Like they are actually trying to submit you.
Yes.
You know?
They don't want you to do anything to them. So yeah, it's and you know that if you get attacked, they're not going to know jiu-jitsu. So imagine how your jiu-jitsu is going to work on one of them. It's a pretty empowering feeling.
Yeah, and not only are you a black belt, but you also coach and teach the women's classes.
I do. Yeah, I've been doing it just about a year now.
Yeah. How do you like that?
Oh, I love it. I love seeing the women train hard and get better and level up. It's an amazing feeling.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, and it's awesome to see all you guys doing your thing. I got to get my daughter to jump in there more often so she can.
Yeah, it's better to roll with women when she's at her age. Yeah.
And I tell her also, because like the kids like to mess around sometimes, and when you're with the women, they're a little bit older, and you can focus a little more and like actually work the details of the techniques and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So So what have you? Is there anything that you've learned or realized like since you started teaching and coaching? Has jiu-jitsu like changed at all for you now that you have to like teach things to other people?
Oh yeah, I definitely have to pay more attention to details. Things that just came naturally to me because I've done it a million times. When I go to show it, I realize that I really have to break it down, and it makes me understand the move.
A
lot better. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, that's something that I've talked to my wife in the past. Like, there's something about when you're picking something up for yourself. Like, you'll learn it, but when you have to teach it to somebody else, it's a different way of like you're analyzing it. Like what's important here? You got the hand here and the little grips, Like, and that's the thing is that in jiu-jitsu, at least for me, I'm just a blue belt, but you start noticing that like the big movements is like that's not what really makes these things work. It's like these little things that you're like curling your wrist a certain way instead of just letting it go limp, or just these tiny things that'll make the move work versus it not happening and then you get tired and get crushed.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah. There's a lot of little things that people don't understand. I mean, you know, your strength works until maybe blue belt, and then you're like, okay, I need to really know what I'm doing here to make this work.
Yeah. So you've been with Coach the entire time.
Yeah, my very first class. Yeah.
Yeah. So how has the community been? Like, I mean, I know you've seen also things grow. Like you've seen other gyms open up. I mean, since I've started, you know, we've seen a bunch of gyms open up. How has that been for you? Like just the community and everybody that we have?
Well, first of all, as a woman, it's been amazing because there's more and more. And when I first started training, I think we had 3 ladies, and now I think we have between 25 and 30.
Yeah.
So that is amazing for me because training with a woman is, I mean, especially as a competitor, is very important to be able to train hard with women instead of only men because it just mimics tournament so much better.
Yeah, that is a great point. We do have, like I saw the picture the other day of the women's class, and you guys had a pretty good sized class.
Yes.
Which, like you said, I would imagine it's different than having to fight with guys.
Yeah.
Which kind of makes me think, like when you first started training, how was that? Like having, because even for guys, having to be that close to another guy is weird.
Yeah.
How is that for a woman?
Yeah, it was very uncomfortable for a while, but once you start going, it's just jiu-jitsu. There's nothing else. You don't realize that someone's breathing on your face or sweating on your face. You're just trying to survive, and all of that is gone. But in the beginning, it is very awkward.
Yeah. Was it, I mean, I'm guessing with your husband doing jiu-jitsu, he was doing it before.
Yes.
You probably had an idea a little bit better than just kind of like just going in there cold and then just having some sweaty dude on top of you. Like you kind of expected or knew what you were getting yourself into.
Not that I liked it, but I did.
Right?
Yeah.
Sometimes we end up in positions that we don't like, not by our choice.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, so what are your plans for the future for jiu-jitsu? I mean, you just got your black belt. You're teaching classes.
Yeah, just grow our women's program, keep training. Yeah.
Keep learning, compete.
Keep learning, maybe
get better.
Compete.
Yeah,
we'll have to build some confidence before
here and there.
Do that.
Yeah. I mean, you're different. It's a different level, different animal now. Yeah. I gotta do the same. Start getting into competition shape and start doing some of these things too.
Yeah. Just keep training and showing up and also getting more women. I mean, it's pretty amazing to see more ladies in our gym.
Yeah, it's awesome. And I think at this point, you want to get one more? But we're gonna get another guest in here. But it's awesome having you on the show, Megan. And we're here for the grand opening of Ric Centron Jiu Jitsu and Rejuvgen. And Megan, it's awesome. Congratulations on your black belt.
Thank you very much.
It's so great
Appreciate
to have you on the show.
Thank you. Thanks.
And now we got Andrew on the show. Andrew is Phil's son, who we just had on a little while ago. Andrew is also one of Joey's training partners. What's up, Andrew? How you doing?
Good.
You doing good? How old are you?
I'm 11 years old.
You're 11. And I'm one of your coaches. I help coach your classes. And how long have you been doing jiu-jitsu now?
This October, it was 4 years.
4 years? How do you like jiu-jitsu?
I love it.
It
was a big change in my life, and I never want it to go away.
Yeah? Was it your idea to start doing jiu-jitsu, or was it your dad's idea?
So my dad had said, like, hey, our neighbors are doing jiu-jitsu over there. Do you want to come try it? And I'm like, sure. First, I didn't know what it was. I thought it was more of like karate, which I had done karate, so I was like,
sure. Like kicking and punching and stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
But then when I came in my first day, I just fell in love with the art.
Yeah? You liked it from the beginning?
Yeah.
What's your favorite submission?
Armbar.
You like the armbar?
Or rear naked choke.
The rear naked choke? I like the rear naked choke too. Sometimes when you get it nice and deep, it feels like they're gonna, like you can just squeeze their head right off, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So when you get the armbar, do you like being on top, or armbar from guard, or armbar everywhere?
Armbar from mount.
From the mount? Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know, when was the last time you competed recently, right?
Yeah. December 9th. I didn't do too good, but
that's okay.
I did 2 exhibition matches, and I won them both.
Nice. Dude, that's awesome. That's great. You know what? just like everybody else, we don't always win. I was talking to your dad and to some of the other guys, Coach Ric, and that's part of the game. The best thing that you can do is just look at what happened. Like, at what point in your match did things change where you started losing? Because you don't start losing right off the bat, right? And what was it that made you start going down that path? And what could you have done different? Maybe they had a grip that you needed to break. Maybe you were in a position that you shouldn't have been in. But that's how we continue to get better. Is just you learn from those losses, right?
Yep.
A lot of times we think more about the losses that we have than the wins. Like, the wins are cool, but you'll think more about like what actually happened when you lose, right? The wins, it's kind of like, yeah, it felt great, but you don't really think about everything that happened, right? You'll break down the losses more, and you'll grow more from a loss than you will from a win, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Do you know when do you want to compete again?
I think I'm gonna do one on January 28th.
Okay, January 28th, and you're a gray belt?
Yeah.
Nice. So what's next? What's next after gray belt?
Yellow.
Yellow? All right. So that's going to be coming up soon. And where can people find you again on Instagram?
AJAL_MARC_bro_BJJ.
BJJ. All right, there we go. So make sure you guys look him up on Instagram. You guys can follow him, and he posts jiu-jitsu content to his Instagram page. So thank you for being on the show, Andrew. Really appreciate it. And what's that? Oh, there we go. We got George coming up.
Thanks, buddy.
George Guerrero.
Oh, man. I'm tired.
He's coming fresh off the mats to sit down with us.
Old. I feel old.
Yeah, man. How you doing?
Yeah. Let me see.
So yeah, George is another one of our black belts. George opened up a school right down the street from us, Revive Jiu-Jitsu. And yeah, how's it going, George?
Tired.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me. So,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, like you said, open up a school in the East Valley, the far East Valley.
Yeah.
I think we're the farthest school.
Yeah, I think so.
So Signal being in Southern, come by anytime.
Yeah, for sure. So, Revive Jiu-Jitsu, check them out. Yeah, when I first joined the gym, you were coming to our Carlos Farias Jiu-Jitsu.
Yep.
And I think at that time you had already started you started teaching in your garage.
Correct. So I started teaching in my garage 2019.
Yeah.
And it just started with one student.
Dude, okay.
So it's just me and him, like, working, like, in the mornings, like 6 a.m.
Okay, so maybe not even, because I think I joined in 2018.
Yeah, so it was in 2019.
Wow.
Is when I started teaching in my garage. Something I was never, like, wanting to do or, like, drive to do.
Yeah.
But as I saw, like, getting better, and then my teammates started asking me questions, and it was, like, around, like, purple belt.
Okay.
And I didn't feel like qualified to tell anybody what to do. It's like, because I feel like I was still learning.
Right.
So they would ask me, and I was like, all right, I was like, why don't you ask Coach first? I was like, well, no, I want to get your perspective. I was like, okay. I was like, and then I just asked Carlos. I was like, hey, is it okay if, like, kind of like if people ask me, it's like, yeah, that's what you're here for. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
I show them a couple things, and then they hit it in training, and then they hit it, like, in competition. And I was like, oh, and then you get that, like, feeling. I was like, oh, okay. I was like, teaching's cool.
Like
I was like,
you help them.
Never that it wasn't cool, but it was just like, it was cool to see. And it's like, and then it came me like, get me that, like, little bug. And then Carlos would have me, like, cover classes here and there. And I was like, oh, cool, we'll go, whatever. And I was nervous at first.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, you know what? It's something I should get back to.
Yeah.
Jiu-Jitsu gave me a lot more than just the self-defense. It was like, for me, I was like, I never was big enough to like any real sports that I'd like to do. I love football and all that stuff, but we were never big enough to do it. And it's like, or we didn't have the money. Like, grew up in a kind of like poor family.
Yeah, yeah.
So we couldn't afford like sports for soccer because it was like the cheapest sport you can do.
yeah. Cleats and
a ball.
Pads,
that's all you need. I was like, not even shin pads. My first time, I just put cardboard, and the other teammates were hitting it because I couldn't afford shin pads. I would put cardboard in my. That's how I got by.
Damn.
And then so I found jiu-jitsu, and then I was like, man, I got to get back to something that gave me more than just self-defense. It gave me confidence. It gave me something to deal with my anxiety and my depression. Something where I can put energy to, and not. And like live like a normal life. Like for me, like I'm out in the open with this. Like I suffer from like severe depression. So it's like if I don't train, that I jumped right back to it. I was like, so I have to train. Like, so when I had the back surgery last year, it was real tough on me because I couldn't do anything. Anything I love to do, I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
And so that was bad.
Do you watch the UFC at all?
Yeah, that's how I got into jiu-jitsu.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you just mentioned it. It reminded me of recently Alexander Volkanovski talking about that. You know, like how he needs fights to kind of keep him, to keep his mind, that's just part of his routine.
I think it's like a certain mentality. For me, my mind's always going. It's like, so for even like, it's a hard time to fall asleep because my mind never just shuts off. I was like, so I overthink a lot. And I think that's why it was good to jiu-jitsu because I'm an overthinker.
Yeah.
And so if you give me a problem, I'm going to overthink it. And I was like, I need to learn how to do this thing or else it's going to bug me.
Solution. Yeah.
And I think that's why some of the people like you, like Mikey Musumeci is one of like you people see is like how he's just very cerebral. And like people that like very cerebral, they harp on something and they go, and it's like in jiu-jitsu I think it's a lot for like it's a thinking man's game. A lot of people in here are very intellectual people, but we also have like just people from different walks of life, but they're all intellectuals in their own way,
right?
And they just bring a different perspective into it. It's like that's why I started jiu-jitsu and then teaching, and then I just started getting more students in my class, in my garage, and we outgrew my garage.
Yeah, so is that's
what happened.
What it was?
Yeah, I was teaching like 30, 40 people in my garage.
Holy crap.
And
dude, there's people that can't get 30, 40 people in a school.
And this was all just neighborhood kids and neighborhood adults that bring their kids, and they started training.
Dude, that's awesome.
And then my neighbors I know, it was just too many people. Like, there's too many cars on the street. My neighbors were not happy, so I had to tell them that, hey, this is just temporary. I'm looking for a space, I'm sorry. And we moved to a space and we've been there for a little over 2 years now, and now looking to expand, like hopefully just like Ric, man.
Dude, that's awesome.
This is why I love what Ric's done here, because same thing, he grassroots, build it up from the top, bottom down. I mean, from bottom up.
Yeah.
And you see, if you have great instruction, great people, breed the right environment, and man, you see how many people are here, not just his students, just friends and teammates, and even people from other gyms come in to support because they see the camaraderie and what we build in jiu-jitsu, and it's great to have. So I hope that down the road I'm in the same position, but I'm happy where I'm at.
Dude, and you can open up a Rejuvgen right next to your spot.
Right.
And I mean, what do you think about them opening up the spot right next to Ric's?
That's awesome,
gym?
especially if you know about how to recover and keep your body right, especially as we get older. I'm not sure how old you are, but
40.
So I'm 30.
Yeah,
so we're kind of close age.
Things are cracking. Things are popping.
Yeah, it's like I'm getting to that age. I was just talking to one of my teammates, Chance, and I was like, dude, I feel old. I was like, I'm starting to feel like my old age, the age is catching up. Where before I can just go, and they're like, oh, you're just fast and you're youthful, and I was like, now I got to pick my spots.
Yeah, right.
But no, 100%. If you ever done like a cold plunge or like a sauna, it's very beneficial. I mean, I don't do them often. I have a cold plunge at home, like an inflatable one.
Yeah.
My wife bought me for my birthday, so
nice.
Shout out to my wife.
Yeah.
So I haven't used it yet, but that's I've done before, if I'm doing like hard training for competition.
Yeah.
I really harp on staying on my supplements, A, and then really stretching, B, stretch, K, stretch.
I gotta do that.
Especially after that back surgery, I have to stretch it. There's no way around it. You have to stretch if you're getting older, even if you're young. Stretch. It helps so much.
Yeah.
In supplements, if you can, supplements a lot of vitamins and stuff like that. I did different things, but the ice baths or the cold plunges or the saunas, man, they're beneficial.
Dude, the sauna, actually, I started, the first time I jumped in the cold plunge was because of an injury. I had hurt my shoulder, and then I started jumping in the sauna. And one thing, when you get in the sauna, my shoulder was hurt pretty good.
Yeah.
But once it starts getting hot, I'm stretching. It's like, dude, I'm not even sure if I feel it anymore. I mean, you get back out and then you feel it again, but while you're in there, it's like you don't feel anything at all.
But that's exactly what you want to do. When you're in the sauna is when you start stretching. Stretch, because you're loosening them up. You're already getting loose by warming the muscles up. And you're just stretching. Yeah. And like you said, you don't feel it then. And then later on you'll feel it sore because you stretched it. Right. You'll feel that later on in the day. And then you stretch it, and then it's fine. But you do that consistently, then you start fading away.
Yeah. And then you jump in the cold plunge, and then you feel even better.
So the cold plunge, I like the cold plunge, but I have a love-hate relationship with it.
Yeah, I feel you.
I don't carry much body fat on me, so I'm in there trembling. I remember that first time I did it, Carlos, we went up to a place like this, and it's like, and I get in the cold plunge, and I'm trying to go in there, and he grabs me and just shoves me down by my shoulders, like, get down. I was like, and I was like just trembling. I did it. You do 3 sessions of it, and then you ended up in a cold plunge. And this, mind you, this was in the middle of summer, so it was like around noon when I left. So it's already like 115 outside.
Yeah.
I didn't turn on my AC because this was like Arcadia.
Okay.
Right? If you're around here, it's you know where it's at.
Yeah.
So, and I live, out in the Far East Valley, right? So I drove from Arcadia to the Far East Valley with no AC.
What was that like? That's like 40 minutes.
That's 40 minutes,
right?
and no AC. And I didn't.
Just like, what?
I didn't warm up. Not even when I got home. I was still kind of like trembling. I had a sweater on, and my wife was like, I was like, I finished with the cold plunge, and at that time I was cutting weight, so I had no body fat on me.
Yeah, it got down to the bone.
Yeah, it's like, so I have a love-hate relationship. But if do it. It's a lot of it is mentality. It's like you learn how to control your breathing and learn it's a mental state. It's also just a mental state of fighting through it and knowing that's only 2 minutes because you do it for like 2 minutes at a time.
Right.
You can build up to it, but I was stubborn. I said, I'm not going to do 2 minutes.
Yeah.
So I did 2 minutes each time, and it was great. So
yeah, kind of like in jiu-jitsu, when you're getting in that cold plunge, you got to be ready to breathe.
Yes.
Because that's what you have to breathe through it. Because if you're like chattering and jackhammering, you just got to like try to chill and breathe through that.
And that's what I tell all my students and my training partners is like, breathe.
Yeah.
I'm not doing anything. I'm just hanging out here. You're moving.
Right.
I'm just, look, you see me breathing hard? I was like, no. I was like, that's because you're not moving, coach. I was like, yeah, because it's not time to move yet. Yeah. Right now we're moving just to move, and then we're not controlling our breath. And that's not just beginners. It's like you still get some people later on that's like, why are we not breathing?
Yeah.
And they're grabbing something like, and they start huffing and puffing. I was like, you got to breathe, man. Got to breathe. That's a big thing. Control your breathing. That's one thing I like to do a lot before competition is breathing.
Yeah.
It's just when I'm warming up, I deep breaths out. Even holding them, I think I've read something where like if you hold your breath, you start like really oxygenating your red blood cells, so you get more oxygen in your blood.
Yeah.
So it's better for your stamina.
Yeah.
So I read that somewhere, and don't quote me on it, but it's like I remember reading it somewhere, and that's what I do. I do the controlled breathing, and then also holding my breath to create more oxygen in the blood. Yeah. Kind of like a doping thing.
Yeah.
Natural doping thing.
That's like the first lesson in jiu-jitsu is like to learn how to breathe through things.
Right.
Yeah. I mean,
being calm situations, right? And then as you know, it just makes everything in your normal life that much easier.
Yeah.
Your work life, anything, normal kids. I got 2 kids. I know you got 2 kids. It just gives you patience for everything else.
Yeah.
Sometimes we're normal and we're tired and we still kind of have those moments.
Yeah.
But that's life.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah, but then you catch yourself like, I'm just tired. I was like, man, so then you just got to control it. It's a lot of self-control.
Yeah.
Like jiu-jitsu will teach you self-control, self-defense, self-control. Right, gets you mental toughness. It fights through all that negativity that you have built in your body, and then it shows you who you are. Like the mats will show you who you are. Yeah. And then you can even just roll with somebody. If you roll with somebody, you kind of get an idea of their personality.
You get a feel for the person, right?
It's like you can talk to the person, but then when you roll with them, you get a really idea of like who they are, like what kind of personality they are. Either they're aggressive or they're timid.
Yeah.
Or they're very intellectual, where they like slow down.
Do they snatch something up real quick?
Right.
Yeah.
So you get an idea of who they are, and it's good because then you learn how to work together, and then you feed off of that, and
it's also good learning how to roll with different types of people, different personalities, though, because everybody fights in their own different style.
Yes. 100%. Different styles. Different styles and different sizes, but
different shapes.
Then you have somebody that your size and plays a completely different game.
Right.
They play a big man game, or they play a little man game, or they just play like more cautious, or very, very, very top heavy, very bottom heavy. I know a lot of people that listen to this probably don't even enjoy jiu-jitsu, but it's just normal things. Like it's like if you're playing any other game, you have some people that play a little harder, when they're out in the outfield, like in baseball, right? They play a little more shallow, they play a little more back, or they're trying to look for the long ball, or people.
Or like if you play football, you got some guys that like it's game time all the time.
Yes, 100%.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And then there's some guys like, I know when I need to turn it up for the game. I'm not going to turn it up during practice. You just get all kinds of different people.
And then there's some guys that are like literally sleeping right before they do anything. And that's not me. I got too much anxiety to this day. It's like that's just my normal. It's just the way my body functions, I get anxiety no matter what I do.
Yeah.
Like, even if it's something I've done many, many times, I still get anxiety. So I tell my students all the time and my teammates, it's okay to be anxious. It's gonna be normal. Some people are gonna be more anxious than others, and I'm on the other end where I'm like, I get real anxious sometimes, and sometimes I feel my heartbeat. I was like, okay, I can really control my breathing, and I really gotta warm up, and then gets that adrenaline out of me. It's just adrenaline that's pumping the anxiety.
It's like intentionally breathing to kind of calm yourself
People
down.
won't believe me when I tell them that, but I was like, yeah, that's 100% me.
That's crazy.
I might look it, but I was like, I'm definitely anxious. So it's like I get anxious, but then once I get close to hitting the mats in the competition, it goes away.
Yeah.
Because I know at that point it's just me and him. And
it's something you're familiar with.
Something I'm familiar with. Leading up to it, I get so anxious. I was like, I know what's gonna happen. And like once I get into it, they comment on that. So I was okay. I've been here many times before.
Yeah.
And I was like, and then it just kind of winds down a little bit. And then in the match, I already had that adrenaline up, so it's just moving like I normally do.
Second nature.
Yeah.
Dude, that's awesome. Dude, it's been awesome having you on here. I want people to know where they can reach you, where they can find the school.
Yeah. So we're Revive Jiu-Jitsu out at in East Mesa, so 1113 South Signal Butte Road.
Is this Signal Butte and
Signal Butte and Southern?
And Southern.
I'm at Revive_BJJ on Instagram. I'm at bjjmesa.com.
Yeah, and then George, we'll definitely have you back on.
Yeah,
you can
anytime.
have your own episode, and we can kind of get into your whole martial arts history, and we can kind of get into some fighting stories and all that.
Yep.
But yeah, definitely thank you for having on.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you guys for listening. Thanks for listening to Fighting for Your Life podcast. We'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.